Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new series called Returning to Running. So earlier this week on my Instagram page I announced some exciting news. I am finally, after a long 6 months off, getting back into my exercise and particularly starting to run again. 6 months ago I had to make the tough decision to stop running for the health of my hormones, and since then I've really done little to no exercise at all apart from walking every day and doing yoga flows. But again, those yoga flows haven't been too intense, they've just been trying to help support my body. So during those 6 months I've really tried to bring my stress hormones down and also just do everything possible to try and help support my hormones. And in the post that I popped on my Instagram feed earlier this week, I did say that as part of my new routine, I will be syncing my exercise to my monthly cycle. And of course, along with that came a lot of questions from you guys asking exactly what cycle syncing is, how you do it, how it benefits your hormones, and also if ladies who don't have a hormonal issue can actually cycle sync themselves and whether it would be beneficial to them or not. So today's video is all about cycle syncing, especially syncing my exercise to my monthly cycle. And yeah, let's dive into it. So first of all, what is cycle syncing? Cycle syncing involves paying attention to the hormonal changes that happens in your body every single month and using those changes to your benefit. So what that basically means is throughout your cycle, you do have periods where your body is at its strongest and when your body is at its most, I don't want to say weakest because our bodies are not weak, but perhaps more delicate and in more of a rest phase. So that is what cycle syncing is. It just means using those hormonal changes that happens in your body throughout the cycle. So when you start looking into cycle syncing, you will probably find that there are 4 seasons in your menstrual cycle, and it's all about tuning into those seasons. So think about it, when we have spring, summer, autumn and winter, that is exactly how we view our menstrual cycle and how our body works through those phases. Cycle syncing has also been known to be used for your social events, your dietary plans, how to structure your lifestyle and so much more. But just in today's video I'm going to be talking about how you can use your cycle to work around your exercise plan. So let's start with our first phase of our menstrual cycle, which is also classed as our inner winter, and this is the first day of our period up to roughly the 6th day, so when your period ends. During this phase in your cycle you are of course having your period, so you're typically feeling tired, groggy and suffering with symptoms such as cramping and bloating and probably tiredness from a poor night's sleep before. So when we're in phase 1 of our periods, it's said that we should be helping our body to rest and recover. So when it comes to exercise, that means slow movements that help support your body to recover and rest, such as yoga, walking, simple stretches and even moving meditations. Typically, this is the time in your cycle when you shouldn't be training too hard, certainly no PBs or really pushing your body through, let's say, a marathon. Your hormones are at their lowest in this phase of your cycle, which is why it's suggested to rest and take things slightly easier. After inner winter comes our second phase of our cycle, which is known as inner spring, and this is usually typically day 7 to 13 of your cycle. During this phase your body is now gearing up to release another egg in about a week's time for ovulation. This means your hormones, estrogen and testosterone, are starting to climb and your energy and vitality is starting to climb as well. So as your energy is beginning to rise, which is why it's called spring, because we are coming out of hibernation, this is when you can start utilizing exercise to your advantage. So movements such as like cardio, jogging, swimming, lightweight exercises are all really beneficial to the body. This is a time where you're slightly energized and strong, but not as strong as you will be in your inner summer phase. Inner spring is also said to be a great time to try something new in your exercise program because the climb in your hormones opens your body up to trying new things. So the next phase, also known as inner summer, is day roughly 14 to 21 of your cycle. By the way, these rough estimates are based on a typical 28-day cycle. So during inner summer, your hormones are at their peak, and this is really when you can use your exercise to your advantage. For many women, you'll also feel slightly glowing, energetic, motivated, just in general really happy during your cycle. And because your hormones are at their highest, this is the time to nail your PBs, try any weightlifting exercises, really go for it on your running, whatever you want to do. This is when your body is at its strongest. And because the body is at its strongest, this is why it's called inner summer, because when you think of summer, you think of long nights, breezy days, just general happiness. However, it is important to note that research does show that because your estrogen is at its highest, injuries and any pain and discomfort can also be more common during this phase. So just bear that in mind and make sure you really warm up properly and cool the body down, which is also extremely important if you have any hormonal issues or are suffering with a hormonal imbalance. But let's just say it's really important to do those two things anyway. Phase 4 is also known as inner autumn and typically days 22 to 29 of your cycle. During this phase, which is after ovulation, your estrogen and testosterone levels start to drop off, and this is where progesterone hormone takes center stage. If you also take your basal temperature every morning, you'll also know that progesterone increases your body temperature, so your body is now burning more calories and you're going to be requiring more energy into your body. Because this is a phase in our cycle when our hormones are dropping down and PMS symptoms are on the rise, you're probably going to be feeling a little bit groggy. Because of this, it's really important that you take note of how you're feeling in yourself and tailor that to your exercise. So when you think of inner autumn and autumn in our seasons, this is a time when you slow things down and prepare for winter and hibernation. In terms of exercise and moving your body, this is a time in your phase when you really just want to do anything that can help support your body. So if you're feeling tired and sluggish, any yoga movements or Pilates as such could be really beneficial. And when it comes to cardio, it's all about taking things a little bit slower than you would have during summertime. And once phase 4 is done, you will then find yourself back at phase 1 in your cycle, which is inner winter. And that is basically how a cycle syncing works. It's all about listening to your body, noting down the seasons that your body goes through, and just tailoring your exercise to help support your body. So when I think about how I was treating my body this time last year, I was absolutely ignoring the phases in my body and also where my hormones were at certain points in my cycle. So let's say during my inner winter phase when my hormones were at the lowest, I was probably at times trying to run my first marathon, and seeing as I had hormonal imbalance back then, I was really doing my body no favours, which is why my hormones actually ended up getting worse and my cycle was getting longer because I simply wasn't helping my body whatsoever. So when it comes to myself and how I'm going to be syncing my new exercise routine to my monthly cycle, I'm simply going to be taking the steps that I've just gone through with you guys and noting down exactly how I should be treating my body through those different phases in my cycle. So for example, I am not going to be doing any running during phase 1 of my cycle, which is inner winter when I'm having my period, and instead I'll be doing yoga flows and any walking, and those will probably be the only 2 forms of movement that I do. And as somebody who does suffer with PMS symptoms, it's really important that I help support my body rather than fight my body. So when it comes to phase 2 of my cycle in a spring, I am going to be supporting my body by getting back onto my exercise plan with just 1 run a week and any forms of yoga and walking, and just trying to keep in mind that my body is looking for movement but not too much movement. And then when it comes to phase 3 of my cycle, so this is inner summer and when we are feeling our most strongest, I will be taking advantage of that and seeing how far I can take my body with my runs. But bearing in mind I do have a hormonal imbalance, I will probably only be running twice a week, and also just charting my cycle every single day to note down any changes that does happen in my body. So for example, if I see any temperature spikes that shouldn't be there, that probably means my body is feeling somewhat stressed. And then when I look back on that, I would probably go, okay, my body in particular doesn't like what I was doing during inner summer, so I need to tailor that back. But to get things going, I think I will need to experiment with running twice a week and any kind of stronger strength yoga flows, because that is kind of all I'm doing at home right now. But then I think once the gyms do open, I might do some strength workouts, and then once phase 4 of my cycle comes round, I will be taking that exercise routine and just dropping it down a notch. So that would be back to 1 run a week and then any yoga flows that can help support that as well. And then it all goes back into another cycle. I hope you guys found this video somewhat helpful. Please bear in mind this is only my own research I am sharing and kind of how I'm using cycle syncing to help support my body as somebody that is going through a hormonal imbalance. And also that if you do not have a hormonal imbalance and your hormones are actually really healthy and happy, cycle syncing can still be really beneficial to any female, because you are using your cycle and knowing when your body is at its strongest due to the hormonal changes that are happening. So if you are aiming for a PB, then you will know that during phase 3 of your cycle you are at your most strongest, and you can use that to your advantage. That is what I really love about cycle syncing, is that you just get to know more about your body as a female. Okay, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this first video in the series, and you can certainly see more videos about my return to running and everything I am doing to help support my hormones as I venture back into exercise and actually use exercise as a benefit to my hormones rather than a negative trying to fight my body as I was last year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. I will catch you guys later.